Welcome to Black History Month, America, which coincides, not a little ironically, with the death of democracy and the birth of billionaire fascist kleptocracy. Billionaires now run this country, illegally, I might add, and they own the media and are not even remotely reticent to use it for propaganda purposes. Case in point, the LA Times, which actually changed the content of an editorial written by an outside contributor, completely reversing the writer's opinion. And not only that, but guess who ordered, authorized, and really even made the changes? That's right, billionaire owner Dr. Pat Soon-Shiong. Editorials written by outside experts or well-known authorities have been a mainstay of newspaper for more than 100 years now. And certainly, editors subject editorials to copy editing and cutting down for length and layout requirements. But in the history of American journalism, there has rarely, if ever, been a case of using someone's name, reputation, and actual written discourse to make the opposing argument. That prize now belongs to the LA Times, a legacy media outlet that no one will shed a tear over the day they lock their doors. I mean, really, what's the point? The whole purpose of the LA Times, the New York Times, and the Washington Post is now to curry favor from the administration so that they can continue to deliver for their shareholders. Remember the good old days when the purpose of the media was to be a check on the government and what it is doing? And what this government is doing, step by step, bit by bit, is dismantling democracy and replacing it with billionaire fascist kleptocracy. Yesterday, Trump fired DOJ prosecutors who worked on the J6 investigation and a chunk of the FBI leadership. While on the Hill, we are subjected to a parade of underqualified clowns sailing through the confirmation process, even though Democratic senators are destroying them. One such clown is anti-vaxxer and whale beheader Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who Trump nominated as Secretary of Health and Human Services. The LA Times was all set to publish an editorial by Eric Reinhart, a contributor at The Nation and a social psychiatrist, political anthropologist, and psychoanalytic clinician. So yes, pretty much what you can consider to be a healthcare expert. So Reinhart wrote this essay: RFK Jr.'s wrecking ball won't fix public health. Only the trouble is, Dr. Pat Soon-Shiong thought better of the title and the editorial itself and decided to do a little editing. Instead of wrecking ball, we got this. Opinion: Trump's healthcare disruption could pay off if he pushes real reform. Yeah, bit of a change there. One is highly critical, another designed to placate. Reinhart began his piece by writing this: Trump's nomination of RFK Jr. to lead the nation's health agencies and the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson are both reflections of the same reality: anger at the wanton greed underlying America's health systems has reached a fever pitch, and it will not be held back any longer. Major changes are coming, but they may leave us even worse off than we already are. So the LA Times translation: President Trump's nomination of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reflects anger and frustration at the wanton greed underlying America's health systems. Yeah, talk about toning it down just a bit. But the most outrageous change was this. In his conclusion, Reinhart wrote, although RFK Jr. and Luigi Mangione are both responses to the same underlying problem of U.S. healthcare corruption, there is a major difference between them. One allegedly operated outside the law to kill one person in defense of millions, whereas the other, via his egomaniacal disregard for scientific evidence, seeks to use law itself to inflict preventable death on those millions. Reinhart made it pretty clear that RFK Jr. should be put out to pasture, where he can drink unpasteurized milk and kill bears as he sees fit. LA Times modification? We should demand fundamental transformations in how we approach health in America, but a wrecking ball alone won't deliver what we need. Speaking of milk, that was pure journalistic milquetoast. When legacy media was dying, the internet and digital media having taken the profit structure right out from underneath them, most people were grateful that well-intentioned billionaires stepped in and saved them, seemingly to operate as a kind of public service. But now we know better. Far from saving the Fourth Estate, billionaires have taken it over to silence dissent and foster consent for their fascist kleptocracy. Dr. Pat is just one of a number of billionaire schmucks who is helping destroy democracy, and I'll bet he has great health care. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.